Welcome back to ALPB Roundup. I'm Ryan. I'm here. We got some quick just score updates from last night because we got to talk about the business of the night, the oddity out in Lexington, and we need to talk about report cards. That's right, it's report card season here on ALPB Roundup. So let's hop right in here. First things first, the FerryHawks against the Revolution. FerryHawks get their second ever win, winning 8-2 over the Revolution. That's good for them to get some runs on the board. That's been an ongoing issue. So far, they've had a historically bad offense. The Barnstormers got a big 6-3 win over the Ducks. That's a big result for both teams. The Ducks really need to keep pace with the Blue Crabs. The Barnstormers need to keep pace with anybody other than the FerryHawks, if we're being honest. The Rockers, they beat the Dirty Birds 7-2, and the Honey Hunters beat the Blue Crabs 2-0 in a battle of division winners. Learning a lot about both those teams right now. Now to the weirdness of the night. The two teams in Lexington battled for their first ever game, and the result was a suspended game due to an issue with the artificial mound. Okay, that's a new one. From what I know, from what I've talked to people about, what I have been involved with in pieces here, basically the mound arrives in I think 8 pieces, could be as few as 6 pieces. It's put together, and one of the pieces of the mound had a hole worn into it. This was something that kind of became evident just a game into the season. It was really evident about 4 games into the season. Now here we are, almost 20 games into the year, 15, I guess, to be fair. And there's a hole in the mound. So game got cut in, I think, the 6th inning last night after Eli Villanueva had his knee buckle as he landed at one point on the mound. He seems to be okay, which is great. But yeah, that was it. They banged that game. This morning they're supposed to have a 10 o'clock game. That got banged. They're going to play, it looks like 2 around 6 o'clock tonight. They're going to finish up game 1 and play game 2 with a new piece of mound delivered and installed. What's there to say? I mean, you can't have a field delayed, suspended game because of field conditions with a turf field, bro. That's such a bad look. I'm gonna walk away from anything else there, but there's a bunch of issues right now in Lexington. I mean, scheduling. There's 6 doubleheaders that were on the board. There's now 2 doubleheaders on the schedule. I don't know what happened. The other ones, is there a series against High Point in a couple weeks? Is there not? It sounds like a lot of scheduling decisions were made without the league's involvement. So good luck with that. Moving right along, though, because it is now report card season. Talking about doing report cards, because here at ALP Roundup, by the way, if you thought report cards were stressful in school, well, ALP Roundup, welcome to the hellscape, because we have report cards for all the teams. We're going to try to keep it 15 to 30 seconds each, just rip it off like a Band-Aid. But we're going to be doing them 10 different times throughout the year, every 10% marker, and we are over the 10% mark into the season. I know time flies when you're having fun and having holes in your pitcher's mound, am I right? So, randomly pick the order of these. We're just going to go without even thinking about it. First team off the bat here is the Charleston Dirty Birds. They're 9-8. Yeah, by the way, handy dandy notebook. Get in the spirit of the school, you know? League average offense so far. They've lost 8 of their last 13. Above average pitching staff, which is a good thing for Charleston. It's keeping them in it. They didn't look as impressive against good competition, but Billy Horn is definitely a plus for them. They have 30% playoff odds right now, and I'm giving them a B grade at this point in the year. The Barnstormers, they're definitely under some pressure after a rough start. They're 5-11. They've been beating the teams they should beat, but there's not many teams they should beat. They have the league's 3rd worst offense and below average pitching. Luckily, the North Division is pretty soft right now, so they still have 23% playoff odds. I'll give them a D grade for their efforts so far. Just not much improvement over last year. Last year was a real mess. Got covered up because Gastonia was kind of a garbage fire, but Lancaster was rough last year. On to the Wild Health Genomes, another 5-11 rough start. Good roster additions, though, have definitely helped. That offense is approaching league average after a dismal start. That's important because they currently have the league's worst pitching staff, which is not what I would have predicted when the year started, but here we are. They need to move quick, though, to keep up in this North Division because it is a good division, and their playoff odds are already down to 12%. I'll give them a C- grade with extra credit for their bounce back. The Long Island Ducks, slow 7-8 start for them. Too soon to panic for sure, especially the way they add people mid-season. So I would say it's not too bad. Maybe for a different team, I'd give them a lower score, but I will give them a C grade. They still have 39% playoff odds, which is good, and I would expect them probably to make it. Their pitching and offense is about league average, and I would probably see them improve too. So the Ducks look fine with a C, just coasting along 10% of the way through the year. Red hot start for the Gastonia Honey Hunters. I mean, 14-2. They shouldn't be that surprising, honestly. I know last year was kind of a mess, but their offense was great. They had some great players. They did have some good pitchers come through who got signed. So, I mean, they got a good baseball ops department right now. They know what they're doing. They're getting it done. They're handling themselves. They're making moves also to shore up the team. So it looks good. Can they keep it up? Only time will tell. But they have one of the league's top offenses and pitching staffs so far. They have 80% playoff odds. Could be even higher, but the Rockers exist. But they do earn an A grade on this report card. The High Point Rockers, I mean, just behind Gastonia, they're 13-4, above average pitching so far in the season, and well above average offense, which is great. 69% playoff odds, nice. Always able to, or they're well above on the pitching side. They're just above on the hitting side. So I got it. I switched it up. Report cards are difficult, even out of school for me. They're always able, though, to put pitching together. The Rockers are just good like that. And we'll see if they can, though, avoid tough stretches. Tough stretches are what killed them last year and kept them out of the playoffs. I will give them an A- at this point in the season. The Lexington Legends, tough 8-8 start for the defending champs. They lost, or they looked like they were on the way to losing last night before the mound got involved. But they've, right now, above average offense, but they are prone to bad days. They've already been 2 hit, I think, twice, and 1 hit once, which is wild this early in the year. I would say, they have the 3rd worst pitching in the league right now. It's kind of similar to last year, except last year they had the best hitting in league history. So they're going to need to pick it up on one end or the other if they really want to make moves on the playoffs here. 23% playoff odds is kind of jarring to see so low. And with that, I'll just give them a C grade with the understanding that they probably should have been higher, but this has been a rough start to the year. York Revolution, they were 4-12 so far. They have the league's 2nd worst pitching and offense. Brutal combination. Tough path to the playoffs, even in the North Division, just a 16% chance to make it at this point. I would say, like Lancaster, who actually just swept them, I will give them a D grade as well. Last 2 teams here, we got the Staten Island FerryHawks, who had the worst possible start, 0-9. They're now 2-13, so I guess they're getting hot. I don't know. Clubhouse drama, historically poor offense, well below average pitching, despite a solid top of the rotation. Bullpen issues. It is what it is. Joe Kuzia, though, looks good. Love Joe Kuzia. Big Joe Kuzia guy. If you're new here, welcome to the party. Joe Kuzia is the man. Still 9% playoff odds, which is kind of remarkable at this point, but they do have an F grade, the only F I'm going to give this time around. And now back to the top, because we have Southern Maryland Blue Crabs to round it out. 13-3 start with a 12-game win streak in the middle of it. They've now lost 2 of 3. Red flags. But we'll learn more about how they stack up during this series against Gastonia this week. Top 3 offense and pitching staff, that's going to be good for them. That's also helped by the North Division being pretty weak right now. 83% playoff odds for them. I would say with 5.5 games above the Ducks, they do earn an A to round out the report cards. So there are your report cards 10% of the way through the year. Thanks for checking in with the LPB Roundup. We'll keep an eye on this mound situation in Lexington and the chaos around the rest of the league. We've got a great series between Gastonia and Southern Maryland right now. So fun times in the Atlantic League. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram. And I will see you next time.